Men of Reddit. What's the best response to, haha, you have a small anus? You want the money or not? Well, it's only 3 inches, but it smells like a foot. That's my clitoris, ma'am. Only when I look at you. I might have a needle ick, but I UCK like a sewing machine. Rich coming from someone who doesn't even have anus to begin with. Hey! My eyes are up here. It's not much, but it's honest work. I was in the pool. In the Grand Canyon, even a Boeing 747 looks tiny. Your mom doesn't seem to care. Your dad likes it. Some very funny replies, but if you want a serious answer, like nothing. Like the instant you try to respond to that, you've already lost. You're just engaging in playground bullshit and look as stupid as they do. Who told you? Your sister or your mom? Detach it and slap them in the face with it. Thanks. I got it half off. What do you hate in Orn? The hitty titles, young teen mom gets her big pink ussy absolutely dominated by her schizophrenic next-door neighbor. Man touches woman's leg woman. Oh my god, IMUMMING. 95% of Orn is fake moans and incest, and I'm not exaggerating. The overdramatic acting. It gets so annoying. I saw an amateur video recently where the guy's smoke alarm kept beeping because it needed to be changed. They don't get married afterwards. I hate the prevalence of what I call pseudo-incest. Everything is stepmom or stepson. I mean, WTF? I was perusing the ol' hub once, just clicking on random videos, but one caught my eye. I once saw a dude dressed up as SpongeBob get a BJ from a chick dressed as Sandy in the like, I'm a sponge, I'm full of air, so if you keep sucking on me you'll be able to breathe. Made me laugh so hard that I wasn't hard anymore and went and played World of Warcraft instead. Watching 2 people awkwardly positioning themselves into a porny position and pretending they enjoy the approximately 3 centimeters of movement it provides. Nothing turns me on less than thinking about the mechanics of X instead of how the X feels. Jump cuts. They'll be slowly undressing each other, then all of a sudden, they're fully naked, once getting rammed in the SS, and there's a new guy that just appeared out of nowhere jerking it in the woman's face. Just ruins the vibe. The lack of chemistry. I feel like vintage Orn is much better in that regard. There was more kissing, foreplay, afterplay, etc. I've watched vintage Orn where you could almost swear the actors were into each other, which made the X itself look much better and natural. Now most of it feels dry, boring, wooden, with weird positions and camera angles, sometimes too aggressive, not in a fetish, fantasy way, and overall overproduced. Hell, even some amateur Orn is getting like that. How unnecessary violent it is, and how, especially in high school, boys would try and recreate those things. Had a guy bang my head on the wall while making out, nearly had a concussion. The amount of fake RGASMS for girls. I don't remember when the last time I saw genuine RGASM in Orn. Seeing dry penetration. I know the skin is dragging, I know it feels uncomfortable. Everything looks hot when it's wet, glistening. Lube it up. I implore you. Those 2 hot people could have met anywhere, it doesn't matter, they do not need to be related to explain how they came to be in the same location. Busted looking guys, congrats on the big ick. Doesn't make the noticeably older, balding, fat and unfit body it's attached to visually appealing. The girl can be hot as hell, but if she's having X with an ugly guy, the first don't buy it. The big sausage pizza is never a high quality pizza. What is the one thing you do every Saturday that you will never get bored of? For 14 years I played pool with my dad at our local. As he got on in life we wouldn't play as many games, but each week we'd bond over the table and a few beers. Lost him in November. Absolutely broken, but hell did we have something special. Edit. Grateful for the support, all. When it happened, a mate who had lost his mum a few months prior warned me that it'll really sting after a few weeks and people get on with their lives around you. Not that they shouldn't, but it can leave you feeling a little isolated with the grief and all that comes with it. He wasn't far off, but I knew it'd come. Didn't think I'd wake up to 100 messages of support, stories and completely awful but definitely up my alley, Deadpool, jokes. Brought a bit of light today. Thanks. Every Saturday morning I wake up around 7 a.m. and have a coffee with my boyfriend. Then I go pick up my best friend and we drive to our favorite breakfast place from our uni days and we have the same thing every time. I have a BLT with extra bacon and poutine home fries. She has a breakfast special with over easy eggs, white toast, and extra bacon. Unlimited coffee refills. We talk about our week, vent our problems to each other, and joke about random hit. When we're done, we go out to the grocery store and we do our groceries. If we have any other errands to run, we do them together, sometimes driving all over town. Then I take her back home. Her boyfriend always comes down from their apartment to chat and help her bring up the groceries. Then I go home and spend the rest of the day with my family. We've been doing that every Saturday for almost 3 years, and I look forward to it every week. Edit. Okay, so I went out with her today and didn't check Reddit until just now after I dropped her off, and can I just say that y'all have me tearing up in the IKEA cafeteria. She had lunch plans, so I'm doing the rest of errands on my own. Cause wow, I was not expecting such a reaction. Thanks for all the replies and cherish your friends, make time for them if you can, and don't take anything for granted. Having our weekly ritual has done loads for my mental health in what have been some of the darkest years of my life, so I can't stress how important she is to me. Sleeping in, no alarm clock. I smile at the realization that I'm not knocking on people's doors as a Jehovah's Witness. I did that every Saturday morning for my entire childhood and hated every second. Now I actually look forward to me Saturdays. Fun fact. JW door knocking useless as a recruitment tool but effective at cult retention. Its actual function is to embed the indoctrination of the JW through repeating the same messages in an environment of hostility while they are forced to repress their anxiety. Which movie scene made you go, oh UCK off? Any scene where the good guy has killed 100 low-level employees, only to get the villain and spare him so as to not stoop to your level. Oh, UCK off. Somehow, Palpatine returned. Okay, hear me out, any rom-com that has someone overhearing one part of a conversation and running off. It makes me irate. Like, you hear one part and don't wait around to hear the rest? And they never just ask. They will go months without talking. Rise of Skywalker. The scene where a random knife is somehow also a map to some MacGuffin on the crashed remnants of the second Death Star, but only when you hold it just so at this one spot on the coast, a spot which they just happened to find, I guess? Utter nonsense. The worst plot point and scene in almost any movie I have ever seen. 47 seconds into 2012 and X200B, the neutrinos, they're mutating. I snorted and my high school girlfriend hit me. Any scene in film or television where the hero is holding a gun, when the villain enters the scene, also holding a gun. And offer some line to the equivalent of, drop the gun, now. All smug and or serious like, and then the hero just does it, every single time. Just once, I'd like to see the hero frown all confused and say, but then you would be the only one holding a gun. Why would I ever do that? Doesn't have to be a gun, by the way. Any weapon qualifies. Guns are just the most common example. Either way, this trope drives me batty. You named my daughter after the lock NESSMONSTER? It was ridiculous in the movie as it was in the books. Actually, more ridiculous. I cringed how bad it was. Just about film or TV show where the leader of the group asks, how long will insert technological miracle take? The tech whiz, who's been spouting off nonsensical technobabble the entire time, then says something like, at least a good 2 hours. To that, the leader replies, you have 10 minutes. I mean, what do they think that person is doing with the other 110 minutes? Looking at porn? Buying stuff online? Browsing Reddit? The fact many of these are from Star Wars franchise tells you something. That scene in the Battle of Five Armies where Legolas is jumping off of falling rocks and actually makes progress upwards. Weirdly enough it's fine in anime, maybe it was just how they CGI'd it that looked awful. Star Wars Rey, Kylo kiss scene. I appreciate that as of this comment, 3 of the top 5 replies are all not only about the Rise of Skywalker but also all about different scenes from the Rise of Skywalker. Edit. The 6th highest reply was also from Rise of Skywalker and once again another scene. 4 of the top 10 responses are all different terrible scenes. From the same terrible movie. Further edit. Rise of Skywalker is the most mentioned movie across all comments. What is your favorite fictional drug? Slow-mo from Dread. Everything is sparkly and happy, even when falling multiple stories to your death. That sweet, sweet cactus juice. Psycho from Fallout. Don't you love it when you do so many drugs your bullets do more damage? Spice. Skooma. From Limitless. The star in Super Mario seems to be one hell of a drug edit. This comment must have eaten one of them shrooms everyone talk about, 'cause it grew high AF. Selma from Brave New World.